when it comes to technology, people freak out all the time. When electricity became the main thing, people didn't want to get it because they thought demons were in it. They couldn't stop the printing press. They couldn't stop radio. Couldn't stop TV from becoming the thing. At the end of the day, technology always wins.
AI is taking away the soul from the art.
I personally think the human touch is going to be the most valued thing in an AI world.
Do you think, when it comes to AI, do you think they felt the same when they were able to mass produce food? Like chefs and stuff?
I feel like that's how a lot of people felt in
There's
general.
like a halo on the corner. From the.
Oh, that's fine. Like, I think that was when it comes to technology, people freak out all the time. I mean, when the printing
People
press
always freak out
became a
about the new
thing,
thing.
Yeah.
or even candles, or like even electricity. When electricity became the main thing, people didn't want to get it because they thought demons were in it.
Then also.
I think at the end of the day, technology always wins.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
like they couldn't stop the printing press. They couldn't stop radio. Couldn't stop TV from becoming the thing. So it's unfortunate. I personally would have rather AI take care of household things.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, AI robots
Do my groceries for me, man.
teaching robots to do physical world things is way harder than producing an image, unfortunately, because there's actual risks and implications and shit that they have to be mindful of.
Well, yeah, regulations, all that stuff they have to avoid too.
And safety, and the robot figuring out that you're not supposed to walk through a wall, or
that wall
Stop at a light?
the wall even exists. Yeah.
or stop at a light, or how to catch yourself from being pushed around.
What is a light? What is a wall?
Yeah.
They
Schrodinger's
have
cat.
those like little robot delivery guys, like the little like robot,
Oh, there's a
basically
lot.
robot coolers that
Yeah.
like deliver food to you.
There's a lot of those in Arizona.
Yeah, they,
The Cooper. They're called Coopers, I think.
Did you hear Waymo's coming to LA?
Waymo, I thought I was already in LA.
Or it is?
It started. Yeah, it started.
There's a
Yeah.
lot in Arizona also, dude.
Yeah.
It's and I'm paranoid about driving near it
Yeah.
because it's like I don't want to like trigger anything.
I saw a clip of this girl that was in a Waymo in San Francisco, and I don't know if this was scripted or not, but I think it really shows some like ways people that can exploit shit like that. Because there was a guy that would literally stand in front of the Waymo, stand in front of the Waymo. Obviously, the Waymo won't move. There's a guy there, just so he can get that girl's number. That girl that was riding alone in a driverless car.
But yeah, that's just people though. That's
Yes,
nothing to
I
do
know.
with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, and that's just like, okay, well, where, like, I no longer, I was like, oh, this might be a little safer. There's no one there trying to rape me because there's no driver. I'm like, nope, the people are still gonna exploit that. People still suck.
Find
Yeah.
a way.
But
I think what was it? Sam Does Arts. He made a good point, which
I love
actually,
his stuff.
yeah, what I actually really agreed with is that AI is literally like taking away the soul from the art.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
agree.
something I totally like. I never really thought of it that because soul's a really good word in this aspect because art is so broad, right? Anything can be artistic. I even argue AI can be art. You using your AI, there is still some work that comes into that. However, I feel like when you're trying to cut corners and do things that are not actually your intentional choice, it's basically AI making the choice and you just pick the best
can you
rendition of it.
expand on that? Because I think, like, I know some people in game art. I know the game industry and the entertainment industry is kind of like in a weird flux right now. But
Yeah, unfortunately.
I think it does have its ways of getting a workflow, especially if, like, say you're a one-man studio.
Yeah.
Like, and or say I'm much more of a character designer or illustrator, and I don't want to fucking make this background.
Right.
So in that sense, I can see how it could be a potential collaborator.
Yeah.
One might argue is like, why not collaborate with another person
Money.
who does background art? Either money,
Time.
Time is a valuable resource that everyone has time to give for free for a fun little project, which is where I think AI. I don't think AI should ever be the final product for anything commercial or sell, because then again, like AI does, and I shared this. I've been sharing this speculation for like the past year and a half. Like, it can create art, but it doesn't have the soul, because that's where the time and hard work really comes in. I think, but I think it's an inevitability because of how fast everything is moving. I mean, a lot of these AI companies are completely disregarding like safe rails and a lot of their stuff. So, and then no one's copyrighted work is safe.
Yeah.
So it goes back into, I think, the ethical use of it. Right now, it's like the gold rush of AI.
Yeah.
Of doing whatever you want. Even like my big concern is deep fakes of people.
Yeah.
But
Deep voices too. Yeah, they can do
deep
fake voices too.
yeah, I mean, I am experimenting with it because I think it's a technology that's gonna be normal. So, but in terms of like workflow, that's what I use it for. I mean, for a lot of our lighting for Universal Rhythm last year, like I know nothing about lighting. And BJ, who did our lighting, he's busy as hell. So I had AI mock up what the concept, do mock up lighting for it. But I'm not selling it. I'm helping it to give me an idea. So then, therefore, I can make the human decision after. I think at the end of it, we'll even further along, maybe another a year or two. Even now, like what's gonna happen most, because as much as we push against it, it's gonna be inevitable, and that a lot of the stuff on social media is AI, and it's gonna be better. And what's gonna be the most important for artists and companies is brand and connection with their audience. Because like Discord or Patreon, or even live events, meet and greets, because AI can't do a meet and greet. It's not yet. There is like that one Japanese pop artist.
Hatsune Miku.
Yeah.
Vocaloid?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, it's not a pop artist, but okay.
I don't know.
Close enough.
It's a music artist that people go to.
It's so Hatsune Miku is like a what do they call it? Like a voice encoder? I forget what the term was. Yeah, it's just a vocaloid. So it's just like basically a voice for people that that was literally meant for people that cannot sing.
Yeah.
So they would literally just use that, and people make fantastic art. You could also argue that's kind of, in a sense. So this is kind of like, should I bring the ship of Theseus? Should I bring this? Should I bring it? Because I think it's a very fair thing. It's like, okay, if I were to kind of counter your argument, which I do agree with, your end product should definitely not be full of AI.
Yeah.
But let's say most of your back production was 70% AI and 30% you just did a little bit of post fizz. Is it really your creation or is it the AI's creation, right? But like, it's kind of like,
I mean,
there has to be, I think people will always take advantage of technologies to the point where they'll find ways to kind of hide it and say like, oh no, I created this.
But what about the game studios, or like when you collaborate on things, like when artists work with other producers, the artist still gets all the credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the producer made the song, and maybe got some background vocals, but ultimately the one that's getting the most notoriety or the most recognition is the musician singing it.
Yeah, but I think the biggest issue is technically it's, when it comes to at least art, it's copying references from what it picks up. So it's more of a compilation of a bunch of things, and that's the main issue. I think
that's where AI is currently.
Currently. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, who knows, right? Who knows how it can change, how people can figure it out. But at this rate, I don't like that it takes people's art and then it just makes an amalgamation of other people's art. And like, it's funny because like, I can see some of these art pieces and I recognize some of these are modern day artists that they're stealing from, and I can see it. I'm just like,
but
it's weird.
So here's another argument that I saw. Like, what about the people who also, me as a human, draws the same style as you? Am I, you know what I mean? Because AI is just doing it faster, copying the same style, but the human just is copying it. Like me sitting next to you, tracing it, maybe even tracing it.
So that kind of goes where like it's hard for me to have a line, right? Because on one side, I do agree. For example, I'll use 3D. We'll use 3D because I know you're familiar with topology.
Yeah. It's
a fucking pain, especially getting certain joints working correctly. You have to change the topology to make it work, but still have so many squares in your freaking thing where you can actually load your animations.
Yeah.
So there's certain things where it's just like, man, okay, this is fine. But it's kind of like, it's one of those things too where it's just like, that's part of the process. There's been such a process for a while already. I mean, to be fair, 3D is,
Still process.
it's kind of hard because it's progressed so quickly in the span of, what, 20 years now at this point?
Yeah.
2030, like, it's been around for quite a while, actually.
Yeah.
It's just like very, very early stages, you know? But, yeah, it's for me personally. I think for production wise, I do agree with you though. Like with the whole idea that the end product has to be genuinely created from like majority. But I feel like reference almost tedious productions. So topology is my example. For animation, it'd be the in betweens.
In betweens. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You would basically, I can definitely imagine you just make, I think there's a program that already does that for 3D. You do the keyframes and then you let it do the in-betweens and you just do the rendition. It actually copies those poses into your program.
Yeah.
So, and then you can do, I mean, obviously at 3D, you definitely always have to, there's always post. you can't get rid of that.
Yeah.
But it's, I think that I am personally okay with. But it's just like you will find those people who will take advantage of it somehow, and then make the claim that this is fully my work, and I think that's what I'm afraid of, to the point where people are going to accept it.
That's my gonna be my problem with that, using AI. Like if it's just like prompt and then you sell it,
And
it's
I
like,
make
and,
this.
and then you're like no,
Which is happening.
it's like, but that's the thing for me, because I still view it as a primary tool.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's a lot of people creating faceless YouTube channels and claiming it as their thing. I don't know if you're seeing popping up on your algorithm
Yeah.
now. There's like
So
the
many.
generic AI voices
Yep.
I hate it.
that are not even, that's just spitting it out. I'm like, part of me just wants to experiment. It's like, does this actually work? Like just spewing other people's fucking information.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I'm using AI for our interview day to make it seem like so it's not just you reading the question out loud, but I don't think people actually play with the sliders, because you can actually mess around with the tonality.
Yeah.
Right.
And then this one actually sounds like someone's talking to you.
Didn't you have one that actually sounded like a guy with a Filipino accent?
Yeah, I was about to use a guy with a Filipino accent.
He let me listen to it. It was
So-
eerie. It was just like it was like, what about Temper Tantrum this year? Are you excited about?
Yeah.
Like, what? Tito?
So it was, because with 11 we use 11 Labs, but it people can actually upload their voice and so people can use it. So I'm actually using, like, a lot of people have donated their voice, and we're using it for this particular project to make it sound like there's an actual interviewer not an actual interviewer, but to make it to break up the monotony of just you talking. So
Because also the way we were reading the questions, it's like, what about Temper Tantrum?
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
there's a lot of that. I'm like, and it's very jarring if you just go to the next topic and there's no like setup for it.
Yeah.
So that's where it's working in my flow, but I'm also like, okay, it's still, the audio is too clean. How do I make it sound like there's fucking echo?
Right. Yeah.
So
Add a little reverb,
So-
a little crowd noise in the back.
here's the thing too. This is Marilyn Monroe. China just came up with a new thing
Yeah.
to bring old photos back. So I think this is where even going to be more important of digital rights management of yourself.
Yeah.
Of like, this is where I think SAG and the strikes were like, this to prevent it. Like, this is, I mean, I think it's gonna get protected from main commercial things, but one person from a random country somewhere with access to this is essentially going to be able to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
It's gonna be data wars. It's data wars. It's been data wars.
It has been, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that we should be able to. We have a right to the data that we produce. Like even just browsing anything. I'm not a big fan that government and companies in general take control, and it's just like we get nothing out of it. It's just they just take. It's,
I mean,
it's very disgusting.
Can you elaborate on that?
So when let's say you make an account on Facebook, the company that takes your data is Facebook.
Yeah.
But there's also other companies that kind of
the data brokers.
like data brokers,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Your data is getting sold.
Yes.
This is not a promotion for like NordVPN, because even
Or
then,
Incognito.
because even then, it's still some form of data that is being. The reality is there will always be a paper trail.
Yes.
Yes.
But I think it's disgusting is because we're producing data, even if it's not the most useful data, we're still producing it. Why are companies taking it, like getting money out of it, but we're not?
I think
Why is it this like it's a lot of private companies are getting the payoff, but the money could be going somewhere elsewhere instead of just them collecting data and giving it to companies.
I think their business model is you get this social media kind of app for free in exchange for your data,
data.
which is most people just don't give a shit or read
Yep.
a TOS.
Yeah.
So I think if there was an actual a paywall, a lot of people would probably think twice about actually joining something like that. But
yeah, it's a big can of worms. This whole thing is a very. I mean, of course, I can only hope to remain optimistic. I don't think like traditional arts are gonna go anywhere, anything like that stuff. I don't think it's going anywhere. It's just it's scary for me. The part that scares me is that people will accept it. They will accept that this is art, when it's like no, it's not yet.
I think
not yet. It's not art yet.
And then you have digital artists that like post their work online. People are like, "This is AI." I'm like,
Yeah, you know how like disgusting that hearing that comment.
yeah.
On one way, you could say, "Oh, that's good," but then you look at to a trained artist eye, you look at AR and you immediately know this is off. This is why is the rib way up here?
Yeah.
Why is this? This is gone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things
either
that
this is AI or you're just really bad at drawing shit.
I
Yeah.
think what's gonna happen is what I thought. What I remember in college when everyone thought 2D art was gonna die
because of the
because of
3D coming
3D,
out.
and everyone was saying focus on 3D. 2D is gonna die.
Everyone-
2D had a renaissance and it's bigger than ever.
Yeah, Photoshop too. When Photoshop came out, a lot of traditional artists thought they were done,
Yeah, I
and
think-
it's still a very
I think it's gonna be the same here. I don't know what it's gonna look like. It might because I feel like AI art is being pushed to like let's do something regular that a regular person can do. But now I think it's gonna get pushed to a part where it's like let's do something some crazy fucking concepts. But I think just an observation like once like prior to photography, fine artists tried to strive for realism, but photography became a thing, and then they started going for abstract.
Yeah, photography was definitely another big one. I remember that. I remember like in art history learning about that, and it just makes sense.
So
it's
same thing here. Like so, we have this tool, this thing that's created, that's imitating art. So eventually, I think it'll be used for something crazy wacko that'll probably be way too hard to produce in a regular traditional media, and then traditional art and digital artists are still going to be around, but I think there's going to be a lot more novelty to it, more so than now.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be I personally think the human touch is going to be the most valued thing in an AI world.
I think there's just going all the way back to the point that like people are always going to freak out about the new thing. Like whatever it is, people will always freak out about it and like, call it devil, call it whatever. I think it falls on like how responsibly people are using it. You can eat on camera. How responsible people are being with it, but also there's a lot of demonizing, which in some cases are like, yeah, you deserve it, but there in some cases that are just like, okay, I used AI to like fix this one thing in the background. Like, don't hurt me. Like I just fixed this one thing because it was there.
I think if you're transparent, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I talk about that all the time.
There are people that are very transparent when their users are. I think I am perfectly fine as long as you're transparent with your process.
Yes.
If
In general.
in general, well, you have to, right? It's kind of like excuse me. It's kind of like if I drew this from memory, but you had a lot of references.
Yeah.
Like, just be honest. You use reference. That's okay. A lot of artists use references. It's a very normal thing. I think people I don't understand. Look at a lot of anime.
Yeah.
I've seen what was it, Jujutsu Kaisen, one of the fight scenes. They used Ipman.
Yep.
So it's like it's a very very normal thing, but it's like
You can't claiming it as original when it's clearly not.
Yeah. The reason why I brought that up to a degree is like there was an argument. Someone's like, oh yeah, but don't like artists say that a good artist steals? It's like to a degree, yes, but we're not copying
We're not
the
buyers.
person's artwork. Yeah, we're not copying them. We practice the style, but then the goal is to make it our own
Yep.
and actually change. Okay, I don't like this. Let me change it into mine.
Yes.
It's kind of like if could you imagine a dancer like AI dancers like the idea of like mimicking someone's copy? Like we get to that point somehow. You
Well, there's
know?
already AI like influencers and dancers already.
Yeah.
And that,
It still looks a little rough, but still.
Well, yeah.
Oh, is it better now?
It's getting better.
It's getting yeah.
So this is where I'm like, what I'm trying to prep the company for. Like,
Yeah.
This is like we're going to be competing against this.
Like dancers always get the short straw enough as it is, like in terms of like entertainment and like getting paid for it. Which is weird to me because like we put in some of the most like this is one of the most like physical things that's needed in entertainment, like dancing or like tricks and stunts and all that,
Yeah.
and we get paid. this
Something I
much.
appreciated. I think it was Will Tennyson. He's a YouTuber.
Love Will
love that.
Tennyson.
He did a thing with like who basically the most like
The hardest sport.
sport,
Yeah.
and it was dancing. It
Dancing,
was like some
yeah.
form of dancing. It was they showed dancers at Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
And these guys are ripped, and they eat like so much food. And they're even telling them, we eat so much food because we have to.
We have to.
We burn so many calories at a time that even though we look lean as shit, they probably eat like close to like 4,000 like because they're just so active all the time. It's a
Yeah.
totally different ball game.
We have a
Yeah.
6-hour rehearsal tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then-
that's normal.
Yeah, and then usually for me when I track, it's like about 3,500 calories
Yeah.
burned, and I'm like fucking hungry.
Oh yeah, like you never feel it because like you're dancing, you're having fun, and then like you sit down and you're just like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like going back to the AI thing, I think AI in terms of like I used AI recently to recover old photos, like this one old ass photo of my mom right here.
Oh, you're
It's your
yeah.
notifications.
This one,
Huh?
That's his mom.
and then I had it.
You tried to
restored.
get color, you restore it, yeah.
Yeah, and then it actually
And recolor it.
yeah, because if you swipe left and right, one's pixelated as fuck, and the other one is like
Clears it up a
actual-
little bit.
Yeah, and it cleared up the scratches from the photo.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, I need a new case.
AI can't fix that.
Exactly.
But a 3D printer can.
Yeah, there's definitely some things there where it's like you can tell it's doing sharpening. It's not.
Yeah.
Oh, I added the sharpening. because.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a.
Obviously, I
pixelated
think
word.
this thing it couldn't right here, for
Yeah,
example.
it
it could
does.
not
Yeah.
detect
It
what
had-
that was, which is
it
fair.
had
But
trouble
like
with that.
honestly, no, it looks good though. Like
Where it's
for what
at right
it is,
now, yeah.
it looks good.
Yeah.
So
Like I'm surprised it detected that was a mole
yeah.
Yeah.
up here. So it's like small things that I'm noticing that's like good. Coloration here is a little weird, but you see what I mean though.
Yeah.
To an artist eye, like or even because I think people don't realize that people's eyes are a lot better than people think.
Yes.
We look at.
Look at Polar Express.
Oh my
You
god.
thought- yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, innovative, but it's just like, oh god,
Yeah.
uncanny.
Why?
We have to deal with the uncanny valley before we get to the realism.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Because I remember like, like those old like AI generator, like photo generators, like the old Dolly
Will Smith
models
eating salad.
and all that. It was just like,
Yeah, it's really good now.
yeah.
Yeah, it's getting better. and
I was
better.
just like, what?
But one of the things I really would much rather get better at and is in the medical field. I don't know if it's real, but I saw a meme where like someone had a scan and then it detected an abnormality. So
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
It's. I think that's. I mean, technically, that's what most of these equipment does anyway. It's detects
Yeah.
abnormalities. So yeah. I mean, I don't see why it would not.
But
why
like
it could not evolve into that.
for-
You know.
But for like the regular person, like like just they have it, or I don't know, just
Screening yourself before going to the doctor.
Screening. You ugly. Crap.
this was the worst Mayo Clinic cancer. Doc, and my AI says I have cancer.
Oh god, good.
Cancer.
It's just like I just look up symptoms like stomach ache, cramps. You have cancer.
Oh yeah, there's this one comedian I forgot. He's a troll comedian.
Okay.
So he made his own website as a fake chat GPT. and someone actually signed up, and he was just trolling them as a fake ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just him. He didn't
It
like
was just
create.
him.
He
It was just
didn't
him.
cre-
It was
he
him
didn't create
talking
a troll
back.
mod. He's just him.
It was just him talking back to them.
Chat
That's
room.
funny.
It's not even.
He made a fake chat room.
That's smart. I
There's-
like that.
Okay, so there's one that like Brandon was telling us. There's someone that Brandon knew that I'm not gonna reveal any names, but like Brandon was telling us about someone that he knew that just heavily relied on chat, the free version, by the way, like Chat GPT, just for this isn't about art anymore. This is life. Like this person is consulting Chat GPT for everything. Like help me prep for this interview. Like okay, fine. Like I've
It's a
used
useful
Chat GPT to help me prep for interviews. Like this is a company that does this is what they're looking for. Like like giving possible questions they might ask me. Fine,
Yeah.
cool. That's good interview prep if you don't have someone to help you prep. But it was like, so this is my life. Like literally, we'll tell ChatGPT their life story, and I'm like, well, am I wrong for this? And I'm like,
Yeah.
you need a therapist, not ChatGPT.
I said this.
Yeah.
Was that okay to say this?
Remember when I said in the beginning, AI is like has no soul? Yeah, that's
AI
the
has
wrong.
no soul.
That's not. That's not the right consultant, ma'am
No.
or sir.
No.
No.
That's where I draw the line. When it comes to moral and values, you cannot let someone. It's equally just blindly believing something. Like that's what that person is doing basically.
Yeah.
It is because you're letting AI. And also, I feel like it's actually becoming a big problem now. Nowadays, a kind of a side effect is that we're so dependent on people telling, "Oh, what is right, what is wrong," and there's no longer any debate of like, "Okay, but why did people think this was right, or why did people think this is wrong?"
I think in general, there's a lot of like.
It's very bad.
I think prior to AI,
Yeah,
just the social media, I think a lot of people have lost critical thinking.
yeah. Well, I
Pretty
mean,
much.
like Reddit's I used to make jokes. Me and my buddy used to make jokes about it, but now it's starting to become more and real. Reddit's like a freaking communist. Like everyone's super like heavily left, and then one person that's kind of like middle. It's like, well, there's this. People they just get attacked. It's
I think
it's
both sides.
terrifying.
I think it's
No, yeah,
I
no,
have-
absolutely, no,
I
no.
have been on both sides of Reddit.
I'm
like,
just
what the
saying,
fuck is happening?
absolutely, it's both sides.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's like Reddit's a majority left wing. At least I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the posts that I follow. I'm not sure. I really don't know. But from what I can tell, I feel like most of it's left sided. But absolutely, no, yeah,
Because the
definitely.
right wingers are on 4chan.
No, that's just the doomers.
That too.
No, but God, that's actually no. I think that would probably be left people still too. To be honest, I don't think there's many right people that be on 4chan.
I hear like more like,
Actually, though, it's just incels now.
It's just it's just incels.
but either
They
way,
tend to
it's
be
like,
right-wing.
it's
Because they hate women.
it's the
No, that's just
people
them hating.
immediately
It's just
I don't know. Musicians, for example, they do something, or celebrities, they do something of a choice, stand up for something, share something of their own personal life, and people fucking go off the rails for no reason, without thinking about the depth and choices that led up to it.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
and even now, like,
I think people have a tendency to choose the easiest option. So that I
Rage.
genuinely think
Rage, anger,
Yeah.
and confusion.
I genuinely think that we're always learning new things about the brain, but there's like a literal part of the brain that dictates like willpower.
yes.
I
Yes.
feel like there are a lot of people who don't exercise that too often, where it's like, okay, this is my values, this is why, this is my experiences.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't understand, like, that's what made them think this way.
yeah.
A lot of people think, oh, I think this way because he told me. No, you didn't experience the same crap that defeats the whole point.
Yeah.
Defeats the whole point of you as a person. It's funny because I used to, when I was younger, I used to be very like, I was too afraid to tell what my values were, what I believe and what I didn't believe in.
I feel that.
Now the older I'm getting, I'm realizing that now, in a weird way, it's very boring. Like as a person, it's very boring. And the reason why I bring that up is because if you again always just say, "Oh, that's cool," you're not really ever making decisions or values.
Someone here?
I think so. Go ahead.
But I think for me, it's like I think that's the beauty of getting when you get older, more mature. You start knowing, okay, this is why I think this way. This is why this. It makes you that more of an interesting character, as well. That also tackles on that willpower, you know.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
What did you do?
Oh my
We'll touch. All
god.
right, we'll
Hold.
we'll come back to this.
Yeah. All right.
Good conversation though.